What's up, everybody? You're watching the From WordPress to Statamic YouTube channel. My name is Michael. Now, I want to follow up on my previous video, which is about getting started with AI in our Statamic projects, by talking about my Cascadia Starter Kit. In the previous video, I was showing you some of the ways that I was extending it to make more information available for our AIs to hook into. That stuff is now published and available in the Starter Kit as it is now. And there's a coupon code, which you can find in the description, to get 20% off from now until September 1st. In addition, while you're still here, I'm launching a new add-on called Scout. And that same coupon code will apply for this as well, for 20% off. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about this in the rest of the video. But just as a recap, let's take a look at what I was doing with the Starter Kit. Now, if you recall, I had this component system where I was able to sync my components entries, which was basically just a reflection of all the things that are going to be in my page builder, which is a replicator that I'm using to build my pages. Now, and these ones are just descriptions of all of those blocks. So what it is, when to use it, when not to use it, that sort of thing. And now I've surfaced a little bit more of this stuff if I go back to this page. The audit and the sync commands I just had as like PHP artisan commands you could run in the command line, but now you can have them right here in the dashboard. So if I was creating a new component and I wanted to sync that item into this catalog here, I can just run the command, and since I didn't have one available, it found none, but basically it would create a new entry here and describe what that component is for. So these commands are right here in the dashboard for you as well. But now let's talk about Scout. Scout is my AI assistant, which is basically we're just tapping into via API something like Anthropic or OpenAI, and it's going to interact with our site in a way that I would on the command line if I'm using Claude Code or something like that. But it's really geared toward a content editor who doesn't necessarily have access to that tool, especially if they're on a live production environment where they don't have that baked into their machine available for them now. So I'm going to come over into this link here on the left, Scout, which is next to my components, just to sort of visually indicate that, yeah, these things are related. They're not tightly coupled, but they do work well together, and that's kind of the whole point here. And you can see at a glance that the page builder field is referencing page blocks, and the component catalog is called components, and that's referencing the collection, which is synced in over here. And you can configure these things inside of the Scout Assistant.php, which will surface here when you run the vendor publish, and the documentation for that is over here on the README down here. So once you publish all that stuff, then you'll have this page. So you can see that's where I'm defining page blocks, which is what ships with the starter kit, and the components also ships with the starter kit. So if you have your own system, you can edit those here. And now, obviously, the big thing in this page is the chat window. So this is my interactive way of working with my site with chat and not doing it on the command line through Claude Code on my machine. So this is interacting with the API directly. So if I wanted to, query some content, make sure I have an asset that fits a particular use case, this should be able to provide that information. And it'll also work natively with permissions. So if I, as the logged in user, can only have permissions to see certain collections, for example, this will respect that and not surface stuff I'm not allowed to see. In addition, it will never actually publish anything. So the human element is still important here. This can create drafts, or it can do revisions for content that's already there, but it still needs me to go in and hit publish when it's ready to go into prime time. So for example, I can just click in here and pull up my voice to chat assistant and start talking and describe the thing that I want it to build. Or I can upload a PDF, which so far is the only file format that it supports, but hopefully that's flexible enough to get started with. So if you have a document with all the content that you want to be in your website, you can kind of bypass a lot of the content entry, manual work by just uploading the PDF right here, and it'll create the draft for you, and then you can go ahead and make sure everything's working the way that you want, and then go and hit publish when it's ready to go. So I'm going to do that here, and I'm just going to say, I want you to build a services page, and I'm going to upload a PDF that describes all the things on the page. Make sure that, if you don't have assets that fit the description, go ahead and select something at random from the asset library. And then I'm just going to go grab off screen. I've got a PDF somewhere handy that I can just drag right into there. There's my version 3 of my services page brief that we can just hand over and see what the AI does with it. So I'm just going to hit send. And it might take a minute or two to process everything, so we'll just be patient. And you know what? While it's working, I'm also going to bring on, you probably noticed this toggle here on the right side. I'm just going to turn that on, and that just shows me a widget that's going to follow me around. So if I was interacting with it, it'll follow me to wherever page that I'm navigating to. But now we can see it's giving me a bunch of feedback, and it's drafted a services page that it has not published yet, and it's indicated a few things that we can look at, and we got 7 sections and a link to the draft. So let's go take a look and see what it's got. Okay, and now we can see that we've got our draft mode here, and here's all the components that it generated for us. So if I go click in live preview, we can see that we're using that video hero, and there's our CR services link, and all the other, there's the 50/50 component, and our testimonials, and the call out right at the bottom. This is all detailed in that PDF, so I'm pretty happy with that. And this is limited to all the components that are defined in my component section. So my AI is saying, what's the right one that fits the description that we gave it right in the chat. So this is a real superpower for content editors. So if you're interested, again, both the starter kit and the add-on are on sale until September 1st for 20% off. And the coupon code is in the description again, and those links should be there as well. And one last little thing I wanted to show you is, the style for this thing. If you wanted it to look a little bit different, this will just adapt to whatever your preferences are. So if we had a different theme, for example, we're not using Cascadia. If we just wanted to use the default, then we'll use all the default colors, or whichever one you wanted to use out of the box. So hopefully it feels as native as we can make it. And that's all for today. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and catch those links in the description for the kit and the add-on, and for the coupon code. And if you haven't subscribed to my newsletter already, the link for that is in the description as well. As always, thanks for watching, and catch you next time.